Match and replace and mix colors. Match and replace and mix colors. How to match colors? Match the color in different images. How to match the color in different images? By the way, the match color command matches color between multiple images, between multiple layers, and between multiple selections. It also lets you adjust the color in an image by changing the luminance and changing the color range and neutralizing a color cast. And the match color command works only in RGB mode. And when you use the match color command, the pointer becomes the eyedropper tool, and use the eyedropper tool while adjusting the image to view the color pixel values in the information panel. And this panel, by the way, gives you feedback about changes in color values as you use the match color commands, and you have to see view color values in an image. And the match color command, by the way, matches the color in one image, and the source image with color is another image. In another image, the target image match color is useful when you are trying to make the color in different photos consistent, or when certain colors, such as skin tones, in one image must match the colors in another image, by the way. In addition to matching the color between two images, the match color command can match the color between different layers in the same image. And if you'd like to match the color between two images, we have many options here. Option number 1, make a selection in the source and target images. If you don't make a selection, then the match color command matches the overall images statics between images. And option number 2, make the image that you want to change active, and then choose image, then choose adjustments, then choose match color. And if you are applying the match color command to a specific layer in the target image, make sure that layer is active actually when you choose the match color command. Step number 3, from the source menu in the image static area of the match color dialog box, choose the source image whose color you will be matching in the target image, and then choose none when you don't want to reference a different image to calculate the color adjustment. And with none chosen, the target image and the source image are the same, by the way. And if necessary, use the layer menu to choose the layer from the source image whose colors you want to match. And you can also choose merged from the layer menu to match the colors from all the layers in the source image. And option number 4, if you made a selection in the image, do one or more of the following. Number 1, in the destination image area, select ignore selection when applying adjustment. If you are applying the adjustment to the entire target image, this option, by the way, ignores the selection in the target image and applies the adjustment to the entire target image. And number 2, in the image statistics area, select use selection in source to calculate colors. If you made a selection in the source image and want to use the colors in the selection to compute the adjustment, deselect this option to ignore the selection in the source image and use the colors from the entire source image to compute the adjustment. And after that, in the image statics area, select use selection in target to calculate adjustment. If you made a selection in the target image and want to use the colors in the selection to calculate the adjustment, please deselect this option to ignore the selection in the target image and compute the adjustment by using the colors of the entire target image. Number 5, to automatically remove a color cast in the target image, select the naturalize option and make sure that the preview option is selected actually, so that your image is updated as you make adjustments. Number 6, to increase or decrease the brightness in the target image, move the luminance slider. Alternatively, enter a value in a luminance box, and the maximum value is 200, and the minimum value is 1, and the default is 100. Number 7. To adjust the color saturation in the target image, adjust the color intensity slider. Alternatively, enter a value in the color intensity box, and the minimum value is 200 and the minimum is 100. Sorry, the maximum value will be 200 and the minimum value will be 100, will be 1, sorry, and which produces a grayscale image, and the default will be 100. Number 8. To control the amount of adjustment applied to the image, move the fade slider, and moving the slider to the right reduces the adjustment. Then click OK. After that, how to match the color of two layers in the same image. How to match the color of two layers in the same image. If you have color of two layers in the same image, how to match that? We have many options. Option number 1, optional, make a selection in the layer you want to match. Then use this method when matching a color region. For example, facial skin tones, and in one layer with a region in another. And if you don't make a selection, then the match color matches the colors of the entire source layer. And option number 2, make sure that the layer you want to target apply the color adjustment to is active, and then choose image, then choose adjustment, then choose match color. Step number 3, from the source menu in the image statistics area of the match color dialog box, make sure that the image is in source menu in the same as the target image. Step number 4, use the layer menu to choose the layer whose colors you want to match, and you can also choose merged from the layer menu to match the colors from all the layers. Step number 5, if you made a selection in the image, do one of or more of the following. In the destination image area, select ignore selection. Then when applying adjustment, if you are applying the adjustment to the entire target layer, this option, by the way, ignores the selection in the target layer and applies the adjustment to the entire target layer. And in the image area, select use selection in source to calculate colors. If you made a selection in the source image and want to use the color in the selection to compute the adjustment, please deselect this option to ignore the selection here now in the source layer and use the colors in the entire source layer to compute the adjustment. And in the image area, select use selection again in target to calculate adjustment if you want to use only the colors in the select area of the target layer to compute the adjustment. Then deselect this option please to ignore the selections and use the colors of the entire target layer to compute the adjustment again. Step number 6, to automatically remove a color cast in the target layer, select the neutralize option and make sure that the preview option is selected so that your image is updated as you make adjustments. Step number 7, to increase or decrease. To increase or decrease the brightness in the target layer, move the luminance slider. Alternatively, enter a value in the luminance box, and the maximum value is 200, and the minimum value will be 1, and the default is 100. And step number 8, to adjust the range of color pixel values in the target layer, adjust the color intensity slider. Alternatively, enter a value in the color intensity box, and the maximum value will be 200 and the minimum will be 1, and which produces a grayscale image, and the default will be 100. Step number 9, to control the amount of adjustment applied to the image, adjust the fade slider. Moving the slider to the right reduces the amount of adjustment. Then click OK. How to save and apply setting in the match color command. How to save and apply setting in the match color command. In the image area of the match color dialog box, click the save button and name and save the setting. And in the image area of the match color dialog box, click the load button then locate and load the saved setting file. And how to replace color. If you'd like to replace a color, how to replace any color. Replace the color of objects in an image. Photoshop, by the way, provides several techniques that let you replace the colors of objects, and for great flexibility. And results, apply a hue saturation adjustment to selected objects for less flexibility, but a convenient grouping of options. Use the replace color dialog box for speed but less precision, and try the color replacement tool. And how to apply a hue saturation adjustment to selected objects. In most cases, by the way, this flexible technique best replaces colors because masks and adjustment layers are non-destructive, and you can later fine-tune the results with complete freedom. And a unique colorize option makes absolute rather than relative color changes, avoiding tinting from original colors. And we have options and steps. Step number 1. Select the object you want to change. Then the quick selection tool icon often produces good results. For additional techniques, see select a color range in an image and refine selection edges. Number 2. In the adjustments panel. Click the hue saturation icon, and the selection becomes a mask on the adjustment layer. Step number 3. In the properties panel, change hue and saturation setting to replace the object's color, and if the original color tints the new color, select colorize and readjust setting, and leave the lightness setting at 0 to maintain contrast. To maintain both contrast and saturation, select the hue blending mode for the adjustment layer. Step number 4. If necessary, enlarge or reduce the affected area by painting on the mask with white or black. And how to use replace color dialog box. The replace color dialog box, by the way, combines tools for selecting a color range with HSL sliders for replacing that color, and you can also choose the replacement color in the color picker and replace color leaks, the colorize option from the hue saturation adjustment, and which may be needed for a complete color change. And you may also find the adjustment layer technique either for changing specific objects, by the way. However, the replace color command is good for global color changes, especially changing out of gamut colors for printing. And you have options here again. Option number 1, choose image, then choose adjustments, then choose replace color. Option number 2, if you are selecting similar colors in the image, select localized color clusters to build a more accurate mask. Step number 3, select a preview option, and you have 2 options in select preview option. Select displays the mask. Selection is meaning displays the mask in the preview box, and the masked areas are black and unmasked area are white, and partially masked areas covered with a mask and appear varying levels of gray according to their opacity. And what about image? Image displays the image in the preview box. This option, by the way, is useful when you are working with a magnified image or have limited screen space. And option number 4, to select the color that you want to replace, use the eyedropper tool icon to click in the image or in the preview box to select the areas exposed by the mask. Step number 5, to refine the selection, do any of the following. Shift click or use the add to symbol eyedropper tool to add areas, and Alt click if you use Windows, and Option click if you use Mac OS, or use the Subtract from Simple Eyedropper tool to remove areas, and then click the selection color swatch to open the color picker and use the color picker to target the color you want replaced. And as you select a color in the color picker, the mask in the preview box is updated by the way. Step number 6. Drag the fuzziness slider or enter a fuzziness value to control the degree to which related colors are included in the selection. Step number 7. Specify a replacement color by doing either of the following. Drag the hue, saturation, and lightness sliders or enter values in the text boxes, and double click the result swatch and use the color picker to select the replacement color. Note and be careful here please. You can't replace, by the way, you can't replace pure gray, black or white with a color. However, you can change the lightness setting, and the hue and saturation setting are relative to existing color, by the way, and so they have no effect. Step number 8. Optional. Click Save to store setting you will later load for other images. And how to use the color replacement tool. How to use the color replacement tool. The color replacement tool, by the way, paints over a targeted color with a replacement color. And while this tool is good for quick edits, it often proves particularly with dark colors and black. And if you don't get good results after experimenting with tool options, so the color replacement tool doesn't work in bitmap and indexed or multi-channel color mode. We have select option again. Option number 1. Select the color replacement tool, and if the tool isn't visible, access it by holding down the brush tool. Number 2. In the option bar, choose a brush type. Generally, you should keep the blending mode set to color. Step number 3. For the sampling option, choose one of the following. Continuous samples colors continuously as you drag, and once replaces the targeted color only in areas containing the color that you first click. So what about background? Background swatch is meaning replaces only areas containing the current background color. And step number 4. From the limit menus, select one of the following. Discontinuous replaces the sampled color wherever it occurs under the pointer. And contiguous replaces colors that are contiguous with the color immediately under the pointer. And find edges is meaning replaces connected areas containing the sampled color while better preserving the sharpness of shape edges. Step number 5. For tolerance, choose a low percentage to replace colors very similar to the pixel you click, or raise the percentage to replace a broader range of colors. Step number 6. To produce a smooth edge in the corrected areas, select anti-aliased. Step number 7. Choose a foreground color to replace the unwanted color. Step number 8. Click the color you want to replace in the image. Step number 9. Drag in the image to replace the targeted color. And if the range of replaced colors is too small, increase the tolerance setting in the option bar. How to mix colors selectively. Mix colors selectively. Make selective color adjustment. How to make selective color adjustment. Selective color correction is a technique used by high-end scanners, by the way, and separation programs to change the amount of process colors in each of the primary color components in an image, and you can modify the amount of a process color in a primary color selectively and without affecting the other primary colors. For example, you can use selective color correction to dramatically decrease the cyan in the green component of an image while leaving the cyan in the blue component unaltered. And even so, selective color uses CMYK colors to correct an image, and you can use it on RGB images, by the way. And you have option again. Option number 1, make sure that the composite channel is selected in the channels panel and the selective color adjustment is available, and only when you are viewing the composite channel. Step number 2, do one of the following. We have two options again. Click the selective color icon, this icon now in the adjustment panel, then choose layer, then choose new adjustment layer, then choose selective color, then choose click OK in the new layer dialog box. Note and be careful, you can also choose image and then adjustments, then choose selective color, but keep in mind that this method, by the way, makes direct adjustment to the image layer and discards image information. Step number 3, do one of the following. Choose the color you want to adjust from the colors menu in the properties panel, and you can also choose a preset that you have saved, and in the properties panel choose a selective color preset from the preset menu. Step number 4, select a method in the properties panel, and we have two options, relative and absolute. Relative is meaning changes the existing amount of cyan and magenta, yellow or black by its percentage of the total. For example, if you start with a pixel that is 50% magenta and add 10% and 5% is added to the magenta, and 10% and of 50% equal 5% for a total of 55 magenta. This option, by the way, cannot adjust pure specular white and which contains no color components. So what about absolute? What's the meaning of absolute? Absolute is the meaning adjusts the color in absolute values. For example, if we start with a pixel that is 50% magenta and add 10%, the magenta ink is set to a total of 60%. Note and be careful here again. The adjustment is based on how close a color is to one of the options in the colors menu. For example, 50% magenta. Magenta is midway between white and pure magenta and receives a proportionate mix of corrections defined for the two colors. Step number 5, drag the sliders to increase or decrease the components in the selected color. You can also save the setting you make for the selective color adjustment and reuse the setting on other images.